Are Varian Rin's days numbered? Is Anduin going to become an orphan before his prime? It's time to take a look at all the information from Blizzcon to answer this question once and for all. Hi, I'm GC Smith, and as you can gather from that short introduction, today we're dealing with the question of whether Varian will or whether he will not die at the beginning of Legion, more specifically within the Broken Shores scenario. So back at Gamescom, Blizzard announced that we're going to be going to Legion as the new expansion, and there was going to be this bit at the very beginning of the expansion at the Broken Shore, which a lot of us would love and a lot of us would hate, like a very Marmite moment. And it was expected at that point there for like something dramatic they said would happen, and the community went wild, speculating deaths left and right. Now, one of the big speculations, obviously, has been Varian's death, and most of this has been due to the thing on the Blizzard website, the Legion website, where it talks about Anduin Rin. There's a big focus on Anduin and how he will have to learn to sacrifice in order to maintain peace. Like, what is he willing to do to keep the peace? There was also the fact that there are a load of other characters like Gen Grainmane feature, but one of them who doesn't feature on the website is Varian Rin. And obviously there could be a whole host of number of reasons, but the number one reason the community assumed at the time was that Varian was going to die. However, we have more information from BlizzCon to maybe act as the contrary. Firstly, we have the opening cinematic that we were shown. This is a cinematic we'll get at the very beginning of Legion, just before the scenario, which is like split seconds before the scenario begins, with both Varian and Sylvanas being total badasses and killing some Legion ass, and just being totally awesome in the process. It was really, really nice to see. Another thing you'll see, though, is the amount of effort that's gone into the cinematic on both the Sylvanas and the Varian models in the cinematic. And we've learnt that Sylvanas will be getting a new model based on the cinematic, or changes will be done to his model, her model, based on how the cinematic looks. But in an interview with Wowhead, the lead art designer, whose name Chris Robinson, was asked this question. We saw the Sylvanas model update. Anyone else getting updates? Sylvanas and Varian for sure. This is an awesome opportunity to make sure, though, take those characters places we've never seen. Interesting. I mean, why would they, show us, why would they get a new model update on Varian if he was just going to die straight away? Certainly it's possible to kill him off and then use him again later in the story, hence why his model would be updated. But I can't imagine them willingly updating a model for a character that isn't going to feature prominently in Legion. For instance, we know that at the Broken Shore that all of the Alliance and all the Horde faction leaders will be appearing, including characters like Metatalk, Vol'jin, Bane, Bloodhoof, as well as a few other characters, and none of them are getting model updates or character updates. Now, I guess Vol'jin had his a while ago, but we haven't had a Metatalk update in a while, and as far as we know, he's not getting an update yet. Why? I mean, they're featuring in the story because they're not going to feature as much as, say, characters like Sylvanas and Varian are. It just makes so much sense that Varian's going to be featuring in a lot. Now, we have been told there's going to be a lot of changes to Varian's model, that he is going to change, and it was something to do with the whole story that he's, for instance, like this. Varian, for me, was less about making him more epic and more about using visual cues of armor and dressing to tell a story of what's going on with him. Like how he loses his shoulder pads in the cinematic, and his sword splits back into its two original parts that he had when he was Legosh. I wonder what mode he's in at that time. Definitely not King Varian, more Gladiatorial Arena Legosh as he jumps out of the water. And that's the point. There is going to be changes with the story of Varian. And I have a feeling that a lot of what we see with Anduin is going to be whether or not, or how he deals with his dad being this fighter and this warrior, not the regal king he's used to seeing. You have to remember that Anduin's never really seen his Gladiatorial Arena side of his father, and I think that's going to affect him dramatically in this as well. There's also an image I'd like to put up on the screen now if I can edit my video properly. of what I believe is meant to be King Varian without his shoulder pads. Obviously, it's a rough part of his storyboard, and it could easily be from the Broken Shore scenario, but there was people saying on the forums it's actually for later in the expansion, and some of the images with Gul'dan may support this, although obviously Gul'dan could be involved in the Broken Shores as well. If it is for a little bit later in the expansion and like places like the Palace of Suramar, then it's entirely possible, or likely therefore, for Varian to survive at least until the level 110 zone. But that's all obviously dependent on this being a later cinematic. Now, if it's involved in the Broken Shore scenario, then it's entirely possible he does die. But right now, I'm going to say, with the evidence of an artist going through a lot of updates and the possibility of this being a later cinematic in the game, that Varian's not dying. Certainly, it's possible other characters like Metatalk and Bane will die, characters who don't see much play in the story, and Metatalk dying would actually be relevant. It's a way to kill off a character that people want more involved in the story without having to do more story for him. It's kind of sad, but that's maybe what I'd expect. Though we have been told that we'll probably see Aurelian and Terralia. So Terralia and or whatever, the A&T, the two missing people from the Alliance that went missing back in Warcraft 3, I believe. We'll see them again in Legion, and that they'll change how we view Warcraft. Now, if we see them in the Broken Shore, they change us how we see Warcraft, combined with all the dramatic moment that we hate. I'm certain there's going to be some backstabbing going on, whether it's from them or some other characters from a faction. There's going to be some controversy at least. But yeah, I don't think Varian's going to die anytime soon. I think that he's going to be staying alive for a long time to come, mainly because I believe he's going to have a huge role to play in Legion. And personally, I believe his non-presence on the website was to maybe cause speculation, and maybe because he didn't have an updated model ready for the website yet. Which, of course, I guess they'll update the website when they do have the model, or maybe they won't if they don't want to. So yes, that's what I believe that all the information from the BlizzCon points us to. Definitely not Varian dying, maybe one of the other side characters. There's also interesting stuff to do with the whole Helheim and how we have to go and rescue an important package. Though I think that's going to relate more to do with the Gen Greymane and Sylvanas storylines of that zone. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to share and subscribe and like and comment below and all these sort of things. And look forward to my next video series. And I'll see you next time.